jobs. Aerobics instructor, personal training and development. Spouse, accepting applications and conducting interviews. Children, 2 beautiful nieces and 8 energetic nephews. Animals, she enjoys other people's animals. Let's see, hobbies, playing backgammon, reading Jane Austen, novels, and watching non-gory sci-fi movies. Feeding loved ones Persian food. City of residence, Covina, California for 5 years. Her burning desire is my engagement in BNI helped launch my business, so my desire is to give that experience to others. Something no one knows about her. She is an introvert. Her key to success, I love to make a difference and mentor. So, Christine Vaughn, thank you for coming. Take it away.
All right, so I was invited here today by Alfonso because he said that your chapter expressed an interest in getting better at preparing quality referrals for each other and your sales force. So the goal of today's talk is 4 things. One is to present to you 3 types of referral givers and define them. We're going to have you decide what type of referral giver you are, and you're going to be surprised. You're going to be all 3 types of referral givers. We're going to have you look at what type of referral givers your members are. And we're going to have you think about and decide how you can make it easier for your members to refer you. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay, so how many of you would like to receive, we'll start with something simple, just referrals. How many of you would like to receive referrals that are well qualified? Your member's done all the legwork for them, and all you have to do is call, and that person is ready to do business with you. Okay, how many of you are willing to do the work that's required for that? About 6 hands, 8 hands. Okay, all right, that's a good start. It does take work. And one of the things that I love about BNI is we're really focused on breaking things down into really small, measurable, attainable steps so that you can create processes that make it easy for your members to refer you. So your goal is to take all the stress out of referring you. So I have a few handouts for you. I'm going to give them to you one by one because sometimes people look ahead and we want to stay focused on one thing at a time. So can we have these out first? Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about is motivating your sales force. The motivation of your sales force, it can impact how many referrals you receive. So the question you want to ask yourself right now is, are the members in your chapter compelled to refer you right now? If you feel that answer is yes, that's really good. If you think, well, no, not really, I don't feel that everyone is compelled to refer me, then I have good news for you. There's 4 ways that we can help motivate your sales force to get you referrals, and so they feel compelled to bring referrals to you. Okay, so the first way is, you'll see we have a handout, it's called Train Your Sales Force. You're going to start at the top left, and it says your weekly presentation. Okay, does everyone have a pen? That's where your pen's at. Okay, so your weekly presentations, they are your plan of action. Ask yourself this, do you have a plan of action, just like a business plan for your business? Do you have a plan of action for gaining referrals in your chapter? Does anyone have a plan? Okay, so your plan is, think of it this way. If you had joined a gym and your goal is to either build muscle or increase your cardiovascular fitness or slim down and trim body fat, you have to do work.
Yes.
Are there specific things that you have to do on a daily basis? Or at least a few times a week? Okay, so one of the things we have is your weekly presentation. If you want to earn referrals for your members, they have to know what you do, what you do well. So they have to know who you are and what you do. And they have to know who you do that for or what type of person is looking for your services, right? And based on that, I found most members can create about, on average, 10 presentations that could give a well-rounded description of the products and services they provide. Would you agree with that? Okay, so my question for you is, how many weekly presentations do you have prepared? And do your members know those 10 basic things about your business that make it really easy to refer you? We have one member that he dialed it down to 10 presentations about his business, and he said he got all of the exact type of referrals that he was asking for because his members knew exactly what he was looking for. So, for example, today you spoke about a 30-year-old woman who came into your office. Is that your typical client? You said you fabulous people, Dr. People Fabulous, right? I remember that from the first time I met you. Okay, so you're consistent with that. People that are fabulous and like themselves and want to do good things for themselves. Is it exclusive to women? No, it's not. So do your members know that? Good. So what you want to do is build a basic word portrait of what your clients are and break it down into 10 weekly presentations. If I were to ask you, Alan, what is a good referral for you? You can tell me right now.
Somebody who is looking to stay in touch with clients
Okay.
on a timely basis.
Okay, give me another good referral for you.
Somebody who is always forgetting birthdays and wants a way to remember their birthdays and or anniversaries.
Okay, great. Ryan, can you give me a third great referral for Alan?
A third for Alan. Somebody who has terrible handwriting and doesn't want to handwrite cards.
Okay, good. Hi, can you give me another great example of a referral for Alan?
Professionals are having trouble keeping track of all their clients.
Okay, good. So it sounds like Alan's doing a good job of teaching you what type of people need his product. Okay, so what you want to do is have a strong weekly presentation. The next thing that rolls into is if all of your members, that's your foundation for all of your members. You can get even more detailed with your feature presentations. And your featured presentations, you'll see below that line it says their referrals and identify transaction and relationship referrals. Okay, so during your feature presentation, this is where you teach your members how you handle, that's what goes in the blank space under feature presentations. This teaches your members how you handle their referrals. Do you have a process for how you handle referrals? For instance, I just met someone that works at Heidi Hoffman's office. He is a consultant, and one of the things I know about his process is that he has a complimentary 45-minute introductory session where he can understand your needs and you can understand his process, and he will see if he has something to offer to you, and you'll see if you would like to work with him. And he will go to you, or you can come to him. He can talk to you over the phone, he can go to you, or you can go to his office. Do all your members know about your process like that? During your feature presentation, that's a great time to teach your members your process. If I ask Ted if I have identified a need for him to improve his nutrition, and he says, well, what do I expect? I already know that if I send him to Heidi's office and he's going to interact with that one consultant, I can paint a word picture for him about exactly what to expect. When people know what to expect, there's more confidence, and people that are more confident, they're more willing to make a buying decision. And it helps you, it's one way to overcome an objection. So it helps you teach members how you handle their referrals. It teaches your process. Another thing you can do for your feature presentation is identify 2 types of referrals that you're asking for. The first one is transaction. Can someone identify a transaction relationship off the top of their head? Okay, a transaction relationship is where you provide a product or service and someone pays you. Some people call that a one and done referral. Now, that could be a tier 1 where a member's using your service or product. It could also be a tier 2 where a member has referred you to someone they know and they've used your product or service. But there's also something called a relationship referral. And a relationship referral is when you're introduced to someone that can bring you consistent referrals. So, for example, Alfonso, who would be a good introduction for you? What relationship could I help you make that could bring you a consistent source of referrals for finding ugly homes?
Besides Ryan Hoffman?
Yes,
A probate and trust attorney.
probate and trust attorney. Okay, great. So what you want to do is identify, how many of you actually identify good referral sources or relationship referrals for your members? Okay, really good. All right, so moving on. So that's your feature presentation. If you drop down to where it says referrals, referrals help you evaluate. They help you evaluate you and your members. How does that help you evaluate you? Are you getting the referrals you're asking for? If you're getting the referrals that you are asking for, then that demonstrates you're doing a great job of educating your sales force on the types of referrals that you are qualified to help and that you want. So referrals help you evaluate yourself in that way. They also help you evaluate your members. Are they listening to what you're asking for? So for example, I'm going to say Ted. Give me an example of a perfect referral for you.
Somebody that a woman that has anxiety while driving.
Okay, great. Now if I came up to Ted and I said, Ted, last week I met this woman that was really anxious about driving. She came to my chapter and she was really upset by the amount of traffic that she had coming to the chapter. She belongs to the Pasadena Chamber of Commerce, and you can look her up there and you really should call her because she could use your help. Is that a good referral for him? Right. What's a good referral for you? What's the best type of introduction?
When you tell me I spoke with a woman, I told her about you, she's interested, and she's waiting for your call.
Okay, so sometimes we tell our members a great referral for me is a personal introduction. One time I got a referral just like that. Someone was trying to create a process for me. I said, I think you should call this person. They're really stressed out. I met them at the Chamber of Commerce, and you can look them up and call them. That wasn't what the type of referral I was asking for. We like word of mouth introductions, right? We like a personal introduction because we get into people's personal spaces. You get into their head, right? Okay, so it helps you evaluate your members. Are they listening? Are they understanding the information that you're giving out? And if not, let's move to the left on the bottom of that page. That's the perfect time for a one-to-one. You can bring them up to speed. One time I had a member pull me over. She, in my other career, my other world, I'm a mobile massage therapist. And we had a marriage and family therapist in the chapter that I belong to. And she said, I really would like to have a one-to-one with you. You always talk about how emotional pain brings up and wakes up more physical pain. Those are really good referrals for me, and I don't know if you realize it. So you're already those people's trusted advisor. Let's talk, and I can teach you how to bring me up in conversation and see if they're open to receiving counseling. It had gone right over my head in the year that we've been in the chapter together. I was really glad she pulled me over to talk about that. So if you recognize that a member might have a referral for you, or maybe they're giving you the wrong kinds of referrals, bring them up to speed with a one-to-one, but it also gives you a chance to connect with someone more. How many of you like someone more after you've met with them on a one-to-one? I know I always do, because BNI members, we want to like each other and learn about each other and trust each other. So a one-to-one is a powerful way, if you meet with a member on a consistent basis, for them to like you more, and when they like you, they're compelled to work for you. It's also a great place to make a commitment to each other, not only to meet on a regular basis, but to learn about each other. So these are the 4 ways that you can help compel your members to learn about you and bring referrals for you. So now that we know about 4 ways that we can motivate our sales force, what we want to look at next is, thank you. Okay. What we want to look at is 3 types of referral givers that exist. Okay, so when you join a BNI chapter, I don't know, does this look familiar to you? When you first join BNI, we tell you in the Basic Member Success Program, you'll slowly start to receive referrals as time goes by, and then suddenly at some point those referrals really take off. When you first join BNI, we're making a promise that we are open to referring members, right? So when we first join, all we have to do is know someone's name and their business, and we're already an advocate for referring them. Ryan, when you first joined the chapter, if you heard someone complain about keeping up with their clients and staying in touch, would you be willing to refer Alan? Yes, you would. Because he's promised when he joined BNI to try to find referrals for members, right? And all he has to know in order to be an advocator is who Alan is, what he does, and what basically the products and services that he provided. Right here, an advocator, I want you to look at the first column. These are the basic traits of an advocator. If an advocator is just sitting at his desk and it says below that an apple falls off the tree, that's someone calling in and says, hey Ryan, I'm really frustrated with keeping in touch with clients, and I know you know everyone because I know you're well networked. Can you refer me to someone to help me keep in touch with my clients? I know there's this thing called send out cards, and I know you have to know someone that does that. Would you be willing to pass that referral to Alan?
Yeah.
Yeah, he would, right? Okay, in order to be an advocator, you can know someone anywhere from 1 day to 6 months. And with an advocator, visibility means you know who they are, you know what they do. And then if you're asked about a need, you'll pass a referral. So an advocator is one type of referral giver. An example of the types of transactions that advocators pass are tier 1 referrals, meaning I'm going to try that member's business. The money comes out of your own pocket. 100% of members can be advocators. We actually expect you to because when you joined, you promised to, right? And if you classify the type of behavior that is, it's reactive. Someone's asked you and you respond. Okay, a promoter. With a promoter, it takes anywhere from 6 to 18 months in order to become a promoter for someone. So we've established we're all advocators for each other, right? Now, if you want to be a promoter for a member, you need to know them at least 6 months. Why is that? It takes time to learn about a member. And in order to be a promoter, look down the column. A promoter is someone who's always listening and watching for referrals. They're looking up. So we always use the analogy in this training of an apple tree. An advocator is sitting under the tree, an apple falls and hit him on the head. That's the phone call asking for a referral, right? But a promoter is someone who's looking up for referrals. They don't wait for it to drop on their head. It takes about 6 to 18 months to learn enough about a member to know what to listen for and what to watch for. And when you are a promoter, that means that you know who that person is and what they do, visibility, but you also know they're good at it, and that's credibility. So the person's really credible for you, and you're willing to put your reputation on the line and actively look for needs that people have. Examples of transactions and relationship-based referrals, a promoter will they'll give tier 2 referrals. They'll introduce you to someone that they know, and they'll also give you tier 2 relationship referrals. About 50% of your members can become a promoter for you. That's good news, right? Yeah. And this is someone that is actively seeking referrals instead of the passive advocator. The third column is our creator. So our advocators are active. they're reactive. Our promoters, they're actively looking for referrals. This is a person that carries their card files with them, or they have the virtual cards. They can always pass a member's card or send someone's information to someone's phone or email them really quickly or send them to someone's website. A creator, they will inspire, motivate, and train. What does that mean? Okay, they will produce referral opportunities. That's the person that, using Alan as an example still, that would be someone that reaches out to Alan and says, I really think you have a great product to offer. I know of a company, my brother-in-law, he just joined Keller Williams real estate office. And they are really committed to, they have a lot of systems in place, and one of the systems that they have in place is keeping in touch with all of their contacts. And they're looking to establish send-out cards for all of their new realtors that join the office. Would that be something you're interested in? Okay, well, they really would like to do a presentation. Do you do presentations?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's an example of a creator. But how long does it take to become a creator? It takes anywhere from 18 months. Okay, so a creator will produce referral opportunities. This is the person that grabs that apple tree and like shakes it to see if those ripe apples will fall off. You've heard of the VCP process, right? So we've gone through visibility, credibility, profitability is when money actually exchanges hands. And a creator will create a need. So they'll do a lot of tier 2 referrals, but their focus is on building relationships for your members. They want to introduce you to people who can give you referrals. And only 3 to 5% of our members will become creators for us. But did you know that you only need 3 to 5 creators to get all the business you ever need? Yeah, so you want to, a creator is proactive. Okay, so next thing we want to do is, we can do these both at the same time. Your 4 goals are, ask yourself, where are you in terms of these types of referral givers? Are you an advocate, promoter, or creator? And the thing we want to ask ourselves is, where are you? So, for Alan, what type of referral giver are you? Are you an advocate for him, a promoter, or creator?
At this point for Alan, I'm an advocator.
You're an advocate. Okay. So, Alan, where would you like Ted to be? Oh, I'm sorry. The second thing is, where do you want to be for members? So what type of referral giver would you like to be for Alan?
I'd like to be a creator.
You'd like to be a creator. Okay. And what would you like him to be for you?
The same.
The same. Okay. And then what do you need to do to move him up the referral curve?
I probably need to have a one-to-one where we talk specifically about how I can refer him business in a way that works for both of us, because I'm a distributor as well, so figuring out what that would look like.
Okay, good. So the thing we want to do is, what you want to do is pass out 2 things. One is, this one. So what we have is questions. Where do you want to be? Where do you want your members to be for you? Where are you for them? What do you want them to be for you? And what do you need to do? This is where you do that. Your effectiveness worksheet. What you want to do in the first column is just pick one person that you know is an advocator for you. Right here. Which person is an advocator for you? Write one person's name down. And then to the right of that, what do you want to be for them? Just make a quick decision. One person that's an advocate for you, what do you want to be for them? Or where are you for them? And then below, number 1, what action do you need that can move that advocator to a promoter? So Ted said, I should do a one-to-one with Alan. To move him, first you have to turn him into a promoter, right? Okay. And we would do the same thing with, do you have a member that's a promoter for you? If you don't, write someone down that you would want to be a promoter for you. And what do you want to be for them? And then again, what action steps do you need to take for them to become a promoter? And then we do the same thing with a creator. Does anyone here have a creator in the chapter for them? You do? Okay. All right. Do you have goals to have 3 to 5, right? So you would just take these steps with each one. You write down 3 advocators and then what you are for them. You write down 3 promoters. If you don't have 3 promoters, 3 people you want to be a promoter. What are you for them? You write down 3 people you'd like to be a creator, and what are you for them? The action steps, you can come up with 20. It could be targeted weekly presentations, your feature presentations. It could be one-to-ones. You could have, we have one chapter where 2 of the members, they meet every month so that they can, and after 3 years, they are regularly passing referrals between each other because they become creators for each other. So does this help you break down little steps? Okay, well, I really thank you for your attention and your time today, and I am looking forward to seeing how your referrals are succeeding. Thank you.